Okay, guys, so in today's class, we are going to discuss some definitions that you need to know. Uh, After the notes, I'm going to introduce you to an assignment on Canvas. So anyway, let's just walk through um, a few definitions, okay? So first off, I don't normally use this program, so bear with me as I try to figure out how to use my pens and that sort of thing. Um, so anyway, intersecting lines share a common point. So let's just kind of draw two intersecting lines. So, or not. Not sure why that doesn't let me draw a line. Um, so line, line, right? And this point right here, what would that point be called? That would be called a common point, right? That's the point that they have in common. All right, and then we can also have something like parallel lines. They're in the same plane, but do not intersect. So these lines are not lines unless you draw arrows on them. Okay, so draw your little arrows on there, and that lets you know that they go on forever. So I'm missing that detail in my previous picture. So, because we're going to be talking about the difference between lines versus line segments. Normally, I wouldn't care so much. So perpendicular lines are lines that intersect to form a right angle. Okay, so here we go. I thought I had a style that I liked up here. Maybe not. So draw this one. That one. Okay, so what kind of angle would be? Oh, that's a terrible line. Right here. A right angle. Now, right angle is how many degrees? We haven't talked much about degrees, but yeah, 90 degrees. So, how many degrees then would any of these angles be? 90. And how much do they add up to total? 360. So, how many degrees then are around any, like this purple point? How many degrees would be around that purple point? 360, right? Yeah. So an angle happens at the point of intersection. So let's go ahead and draw what an angle might look like. An angle is made up of two rays, okay, and they have a common end point. So what is this point right here called? That's called a common end point, okay. So we're going to need to know this word. We're going to call it a vertex. Okay, so the angle itself is actually the space inside of here. Okay, space. All right, so an angle is a space, almost like a plane. Okay, it's a two-dimensional space. All right, so this says to state whether the given pair of lines is parallel, perpendicular, or intersecting. To make this shorthand, because I'm using a mouse right now, I can't even use my pen tablet for some reason. I'm just going to use some symbols. Okay, so parallel is just going to be two lines like this. Perpendicular will be two lines like this. And intersecting, I think I can just write three letters intersecting for intersecting. Okay, That makes sense? Okay, so this says line AB and IJ. Do they appear to be what kind of lines? Parallel, perpendicular, or intersecting at this point? Intersecting. They're just intersecting lines. They're not parallel. They're not perpendicular. How about lines BE with DF? BE, this line, and DF. If we continued those forever, what would they be? If you're saying parallel, you're right on the money. Parallel. How about lines CE and CA? Here's CE, here's CA. How do they intersect there? They appear to be right angle to me. They look like a right angle to you? So we're going to write the perpendicular symbol. Okay? Lines IL and MN. And I think this is where there was a typo. So instead of IL, that should say IJ. So let's look at IJ with MN. What do you think? Parallel. BE and DG. Yep, perpendicular. Lines AB and FH. They appear to be parallel to me. DE and MN. Okay, so this is finally where we get an interesting little piece. Okay, so this is line segment BE, and this is line segment MN. Okay, do the segments themselves intersect? No, but do the lines intersect? If you continued them in both directions forever and ever, would they intersect? Yes. So what is our answer for number 7? Lines BE and MN are intersecting lines. How about KL with HF? There's KL, there's HF. They are intersecting lines. DG and BE. DG, BE, they appear to me to look like they intersect at a right angle. So we're going to say perpendicular. If I'm you, I would practice writing that word perpendicular. That way you don't mess it up when you need to write it. About lines AC and GH. They look to be parallel to me. Okay? So I guess the goal is to get this thing drawn. Okay? And once you draw it, we need to come back up here and try to answer some questions. So, will JM and LQ ever intersect in space? JM and LQ. They'll never intersect. Why not? One's going up and one's going to the side. One's behind it, yeah. And what you can say is that they are in different planes. Okay? They are in different planes. So what you're going to say up here is no. No, they are in different planes. Okay? The word for that is skew. Skew means that they're in different planes. They won't ever intersect. I think I'll put that in a different color text. I don't see that option though. Okay, so identify each pair of intersecting. Identify each pair of intersecting, perpendicular, parallel, or skew lines that are. All right, so JK and NR. JK, NR. What do you guys think? Do you think they're parallel, perpendicular, or skew? Skew. LM and MR. LM, MR. Well, they do intersect, don't they? If they intersect, then they at least have to be on the same plane at one point. Okay? So yeah, we can just call them intersecting. Wait, they're actually perpendicular, aren't they? I've practiced writing that word. All right, JM with NR, JM and NR. They're on the same plane, it looks like. So, parallel. They're on the same plane and they don't intersect. QR and MR. QR, MR, they do intersect, and they intersect at right angles, so we're going to call them perpendicular. KL with JL, there's KL. And what about JL? Is there even a line that goes from J to L? That's annoying, right? From J to L. Yeah, now there is. Is that okay? Sure it is. If I call it a line, you can think of the line in your head. A line is one of those undefined things, right? I mean, I can kind of tell you what it is and describe it to you, but your mind can make up lines without a strict definition of a line, right? Right? And you do it all the time. You say, well, if I need to get to the bus, then it'd be faster to take this route, right? Because typically, you have to, you can walk through the maybe through the grass instead of around. Okay, so anyway, this is a line, JL and KL. Do they ever intersect? Yes, they do. Now they would be on different planes until they get to that point. So, but we are going to call them intersecting lines. All right. And then finally, JK with NP. JK with NP. Uh-oh. Yeah, those appear to be parallel. All right. So that's it for the lesson on that vocabulary. I am going to have something on Canvas for you to do, and I'm going to show that to you in class now.